Hey. So, I was gonna make this recording yesterday, yesterday night, but, I took a nap, and then it was, like, way too late by the time I woke up from that nap, and I just didn't feel like doing anything, so I just tried to go back to sleep, so I said screw it, and, now I'm doing it. Still pretty late, because I had to do the next day, because, I had to take a shower and some of this other crap. So, yeah, I'm doing it late, a day later than I expected. So, technically 2 days later than expected, but whatever. I'm just going to kind of off the cuff make some do basically reaction kind of thing to directly to like Rudy's two last videos. This one with the white influences by clown culture, I might not have that much to say, but I felt like I had something to say when I listened to it initially, so just gonna listen to it and I might have something to say about it. And while I'm doing that, I'm going to be playing my one of my alts on that WoW server, this Warlock, because he's got plenty of rest XP. So let's start with that, I guess. And hopefully you could hear Rudy's voice. I think I'm gonna reduce the volume in game just so hopefully his voice is loud enough over the game volume.
On television. Kids grow up seeing things on television, seeing the celebrities, seeing the movies, and they think that's the way it's supposed to be. So they start mimicking that look, that way these people act on television, on the programs they see on video games or whatever. They start acting that way. And
You know, Billy's talked about this a lot. Shout out to Billy, man. He's been talking about this a lot, and I'm really glad he is because I kind of forget about this aspect of. He refers to it as a dark reality. I refer to it as not milk. You know, kind of in the same circles that Matt McKinley hangs out in. So, what this man is noticing is exactly what Billy talks about, which is this very obvious cultural push, right? Like I say here, looks like the Appalachian youth are influenced by the not no clown culture, just like the rest of the country. Creeps like Post Malone and Eminem are cartoon characters introduced to the public for others to mimic, to change it into the new norm. And and this was in response to this person right here, who basically said that the real reason Appalachia is under attack. And I haven't finished this video. This is a video by Quantum of Conscious, by the way. But this comment caught my attention because I was like, this is pretty much exactly what Billy's been talking about, where you got the tattooed. And look, okay, there's nothing wrong with having tattoos, all right? You wanna tat your body up, go for it. I don't have tattoos. I don't think Billy does. From what I kind of gathered from listening to his stuff. Um, like if you want to have tattoos, I got no problem with it. But I'm just letting you know that more than likely you were influenced by this kind of sick culture and guys like Post Malone and Eminem, and they're meant to influence the white people in the United States. You know what I mean? The like here the Appalachians and the rest of the Caucasians. The basically the anybody with European kind of roots are brainwashed with this new culture that they want, right? The clown world wants. This person refers to it as a clown world, and it absolutely is. It is funny though because I think the right, quote unquote, like this person says, like the conservative right are useful idiots in that way, and I consider myself conservative, okay, but I'm not a conservative fucking like freakazoid like a lot of these really hardcore right wing people are. All right, because I've been accused of like saying blue pill stuff or whatever all the time, and it's like I don't really take sides, but if I were to call myself anything, and I don't really like these labels, I would say that I am conservative. All right, I tend not to like liberals. Um, I think I lean towards the center a lot more, and I honestly think a lot of people are like this that are in these circles where they're very centralists. but not to the point where they're fence sitters, kind of like true libertarians are. Because libertarians are weak. Okay, like if you ever watch a debate with libertarians, it's just wishy-washy fence sitting on both ends, and it's really stupid. It gets dumb really quick. I remember the first time I watched a libertarian debate, I was like, are these dudes fucking for real? Like, they have really great points, but they're too afraid to make a decision, right? And that's why I think I lean more to the right, because I'm more willing to make a decision based on conservative values. You know, traditional conservative values, not this weirdo, ultra right shit that's going on right now. Like I said, they're useful idiots. But just real quick video, I guess, just to talk about this comment real quick. I think it's really interesting that Billy's been talking about this a whole lot lately. And all of a sudden, Matt McKinley's kind of watching this guy talk about this man talking about his Appalachian culture kind of being ruined by the media, right? Like the mainstream media and the movies, the TV shows, the video games, all designed to steer the culture in a certain direction, steer white people into a certain direction. And they do it to the blacks too, right? They do it to the Hispanics. They glorify the rap music, and they glorify death and murder and all that. And it's going to seem weird that I bring it up, but kind of a callback to a video I did about Gooners a few months ago, where it's like the chronic masturbation addicts are hated more in society than actual like murderers, like rappers that brag about murder and they brag about rape and all that. It's just really messed up, okay? Like the porn addicts are the Gooners are kind of minding their own business, and you'll have a good night.
I mean, my opinion is probably pretty obvious on some of that stuff, like especially certain things like the tattoos. Uh, I never saw a point to what I would consider deface your body. Like it's one of those things where, as Billy would say, it's. I mean, as is fairly obvious, is like it's supposed to be a it's supposed to be a thing that um supposedly people that are like, what's the term, not uh people that are against the system or outside the system or are not conformist, are non-conformist. Supposedly non-conformist do stuff like get tattoos, but the ironic thing is that in a lot of cases these people do that to fit in with a certain group, to be conformist. So doing shit like that, similar as Billy said it even in his just most recent video, with the drugs, the drug use and the alcohol use and all that stuff, smoking and all that shit. I mean, it's all drugs, but that kind of shit. It's almost always in some way done as a social thing, as a way to fit in uh, with a group more so than anything. So it's like, oh yeah, these people that are supposedly like non-conformist are actually just as conformist, if not worse, than the people that are more conventionally conformist or whatever. Kind of ironic. Obviously, very ironic, but yeah, that's how I feel about the tattoo stuff as well. Now, being a being a white boy, I personally never like really experienced some of these things. Like, maybe I have, I guess, but it's never been one of those things. I would say in my like part of New Jersey or whatever, in my economic area, whatever you want to say, like where I went to school and stuff, like fairly nice suburbs and stuff. The the guy with the Appalachian guy or whatever, I would say like most of the people have kind of become like non-white in if you want to go by that or whatever, have become like non-white in this area. Like now it's a lot of Indians, a lot of Muslim, uh that kind of thing, a lot of like Asians, I would imagine Asians of, various places, I'm sure, of Korea, probably Chinese, like all that different type of shit. Um, they're still whites, but not nearly as many as I'd probably imagine for this kind of like area or whatever. But yeah, and I'd say I don't know. Yeah, really, it's not that many whites. It's probably a lot of Egyptians. Just that kind of like distribution, like the probably the dominant religion kind of group around here, I would imagine, is probably becoming stuff like Muslims and stuff. Just the way that it kind of is. So if you want to say with the Appalachian guy, um, his culture is kind of changing in like my area's case. I would see it more as like it's just kind of it's being overridden. It's being taken over by another group kind of shit, which is like the same everywhere, I guess. But I don't really care. It's just one of those things. But just something I wanted to bring up as a personal example, I guess. Um, and the main video I want to react to was the video Rudy made 2 videos ago or whatever. And this one's much longer, but I'm just going to, just as I was doing before, just listen to this. I'm probably going to have more stuff to say. I do have more stuff to say. Hopefully I'll remember it by the time it comes up and stuff. But, yeah, I'm just going to listen to it and react to it as we go.
Hey guys, this next recording is gonna have a weird kind of, because I really don't. Hey, what's up, guys? Rudy here. I want to go over my response to Kirk's video. I watched.
Can I also mention I'm playing so early on this server. I normally don't play, and this server time is 7 a.m. in the in game or whatever, like 7 a.m. server time. It's 1 a.m. my time. I'm so used to always playing when the server is in nighttime or whatever, and it is really weird being in the Shivering Flats in the day. It is like kind of like garish, just how like saturated all the like color is. I mean, obviously this is probably how it's intended to look more than anything, but yeah, it's kind of weird. It's like flashbanging me almost, but besides that.
It twice actually because I got real distracted at one point at work. But I'm gonna go over to the best of my ability. I just got off work, so I'm actually not in the greatest of moods. Hopefully that changes as the recording goes on. So kind of go over it. What I said in Kirk's comment section. It kept getting deleted. I posted it twice and it got deleted both times. I'm not sure what I said to trigger it. I thought, like I told Kirk, it's like I thought what I said was pretty mundane and mild, and it still got deleted. I'm like,
Yeah, that seems to always, not always, but that seems to often be the case. Is like the stuff that you think is completely benign and like not controversial to say or whatever. Like for whatever reason, that shit seems to always get removed for no reason. It's just how it is for whatever godforsaken reason or whatever.
what the fuck? Am I just am I on some kind of watch list now, or like YouTube comment watch list where I just can't say what's on my mind and it just gets blacklisted automatically? It's like just fucking crazy, dude. It's just auto deleted. The 2 times I tried, so I made a community post about it. Copy pasted my response. I'm probably going to delete it in about a day or so, just because it wasn't really that relevant to anything besides Kirk's video. The thing with Matt, like I said in the comment, I was shocked. I was kind of shocked, but not that shocked at the fact that somebody. The fact that somebody basically swatted him. I know it's not the right term, but basically sent the fucking state after him over this carbon monoxide thing. And it's funny you mentioned it. That's the first thing I thought of was his cats. Where it's like when he said his cats were okay, I was like, well, if there's a problem with carbon monoxide, the fact that his cats are okay is a good sign that it probably wasn't carbon monoxide. He might have just had, I don't know, some kind of flu or some weird 24-hour flu thing. Like I've gone through that before too, where I had this weird 24-hour thing where I was just weak, like really weak. And like he kind of explained, like cramping, and he didn't sound good at all. It's like I don't know how the people who do get carbon monoxide poisoning, I don't know what they sound like, so I don't have a frame of reference for that. But and I didn't bother googling like carbon monoxide symptoms. Like Kirk said in his response to my comment just now, it's like the people who, the dummies in his audience that, you know, the normies on the download that are in his audience that are just like, despite the fact that they're sub to Matt McKinley, it's like they still appeal to authority, and that was the point of my comment at the beginning of the comment. I basically said, it's weird that he has subscribers that still want to make an appeal to authority. And like I said in the comment, I figured it was either one of his family members who's watching him or one of his. It really seemed like a boomer thing to do, to like call the ambulance and all that bullshit. Like call the state police and the fucking fire department and the goddamn, you know, EMTs, and like what the fuck? Like what did they do? Did they literally just dial them all up one after another? Goddamn.
I'm good. Not that it really matters. Sorry, I'm not talking much. It's just I'm playing the game, but I'm trying to listen to the video at the same time. It's difficult to be saying stuff all at the same time and all that shit. But what was I gonna say? Exactly. But fuck. Yeah. Oh yeah. Not that it matters, but I'm guessing just the I don't actually know exactly how this kind of bullshit works, but I'm just guessing as soon as there's like any mention of a certain type of thing, like, you know, something caused by like a certain thing like carbon monoxide or like oven gas leak or some emissions, I'm gonna guess that like the EMTs as well as the fire department automatically get brought in, and it's probably similar with like the fucking police in terms of they probably get called in just the same and all that crap. Uh, you know, no matter how stupid that is, but I'd imagine that's likely the case because, you know, in a lot of cases these stupid like police departments and shit, like, end of the day they're really not doing anything of actual use. In a lot of cases they're just kind of like, they're basically just being government fucking leeches at the end of the day, but government employed leeches at the end of the day. So they have the time, they have the ability to just kind of like pretend like they're doing something like that. So just a perfect opportunity to do that, I guess. That's what I'd imagine probably happened at the end of the day.
But I don't know. I don't know if 911 would send all those kind of people all at once like that. I don't know how 911 works. If you, I don't know, the conversation a person would have with a 911 operator probably went something like mentioning his stove videos or something, or mentioning his stove making stuff, right? So that may be why they sent the fire department and all that. I don't know. I don't think the person who did it literally called you know, every single group one at a time. I'm pretty sure that was just a 911 call. Gave the address, right, and there they all were all at once. I mean, that's got to be fucking crazy. I don't blame Matt for kind of being annoyed by that, but at the same time, I mean, what do you expect, bro? Like, I don't know if he's listening, but like, that's just fucking people, dude. Like, people are just, I don't know. Kirk referred to it as a well-meaning asshole, like like a well-meaning normie, like a well-meaning kind of semi, I don't know, semi-normie. If you're listening to Matt McKinley, chances are you're not a complete normie, right? But I'll just go over the video a little more. Not the video, the comment. I'm kind of scrolling through it. Oh yeah, he talked about the parasocial thing when it comes to like YouTubers and influencers, people who watch Matt, and he nailed. I think Kirk nailed this when he said a lot of his viewers are probably females who, and this is just me saying this, who maybe don't have a strong male influence in their life. Because immediately when I heard that somebody called the authorities, right, on Matt McKinley, it was like a woman did that. I just knew it's like a female. I got female vibes immediately. Like a woman did that. Like probably an older white female did that. And that's just what I thought immediately. And it's funny that Kirk said that because I had mentioned that in my comment as I was typing it, and then he mentioned it like a minute later that it was probably I don't remember if Kirk exactly said it was probably a woman who called the police, but basically saying that a lot of his female audiences, well, a lot of his audience is probably female. Matt would be the one that had to tell us that, but I don't know. It doesn't really matter. But I did find it humorous that we both thought the same thing, more or less. Oh yeah, I said terminally online individuals confuse online relationships for actual relationships, and
I mean, not once again, not that it matters, but just for the, just for the, I guess, amusement of the fact is, I almost guarantee, like, whoever called was a chick, but that, or they're just a very feminine kind of thinking guy, which is not too uncommon, as I think we probably know at this point.
Kirk went over that already, so I don't think I have to add too much. Perhaps we're to the point where the lines are completely blurred. Yeah, and when I say lines are blurred, I mean like, everything's online now. So everybody's online now, right? So to some people, maybe not all, but to a lot of these people, all they have is online relationships, So that's what I mean by the lines being blurred between like the real world or whatever and online relationships. Like people more and more are seeing online relationships as actual relationships, and you're gonna have a lot of people. I forgot what I was gonna say. I was talking to the Sonic. What are they called? Car hop? Yeah, car hop. I almost said bar hop. So, and like I said in my comment, by the time I got this posted, it's probably going to be a day or two. More than likely. It always takes me a few days to get videos out, just because I like to edit them and make sure I edit out the what they called disfluencies, like the ums and the uhs and all that. I do it a lot more than y'all probably think. I edit out a lot of that stuff because it's really bad. But anyway, that's besides the point. So I need to learn to be silent when I have the urge to go and so much, because it's kind of obnoxious. I'm working on getting out of the habit of doing that. I just need to learn to pause more and not be afraid to have a little dead air. That's besides the point. Oh, the lolcow thing. Lolcow haters. I don't talk about this much. I don't talk about this at all, actually, but I think I mentioned once that I kind of follow DSP, Darkside Phil, and when I say follow, I really mean I follow one of his haters, like one of his detractors, quote unquote. That's what Phil likes to call them, Darkside Phil. He likes to call them detractors. There's this one guy who probably the least annoying out of all Phil's naysayers or whatever. His name is Almighty Tevin. I follow him. He's the only one I follow, and I kind of watch his shit every now and then. I only watch Tevin because he's funny. He's just a funny dude. He's a black guy, so black people are pretty funny. I don't think they mean to be. They just are. Like I said about who was it? IHD, I Hate Dogs, and Jesse Peterson. It's like they're just entertaining people, and it's not because they're black. I don't know what it is about it, but they're just entertaining people, and a lot of times, sometimes it has to do with their upbringing and culture that they just come off as entertaining, and it's not. I don't think it's a negative thing, but I've been following DSP and his shenanigans for like, golly, it's so embarrassing, y'all. To be honest, since like 2013, and I've never engaged with Phil, quote unquote. He likes to be called Phil. I've never engaged with him. Like I never harassed him or anything. I think that's scumbag behavior, honestly. And to be honest, Tevin hasn't either. That's why I like him. Like Tevin just talks about him and makes videos about him because he thinks Phil's funny. Well, not funny, but he thinks Phil's a mess, right? Like a hot mess. He just kind of makes fun of him, and he's one of the tamest ones out of all the creepy, lolcow haters or whatever the fuck they like to be called, the detractors. Go over the next paragraph here. So that covers that. It's nothing too serious. I may go over that again sometime because it is kind of entertaining. It would be entertaining to talk about because it's so stupid. I'll go over that again some other time. Let's see here. I already talked about the appeal to authority thing. That like I said again, just to reiterate this point, it's like I was pretty shocked by that. But not necessarily, right? Because normies gonna be normies, and that's just the way people are. They panic. They don't know what to do. They get in their heads, and they're like, it's like, oh my god, I got to do something, kind of behavior, and they just end up calling 911 and giving Matt's information. And I'm pretty sure the people who know what Matt McKinley's information is pretty limited. Like I know his email address, and that's it. And that's only because I had to like dig around and find it. I don't even remember how I found it. I know he doesn't advertise it in any way. I had to just kind of do research and find out what his email was. I'm pretty sure you could do that with his address, but I'm not one of those people. So I'm not one of those people that wants to like mail him things and all that. And it'd be cool if I could. Like I got a few things I'd like to send him, but it's not important. He's especially not going to give away his address now. I mean, I don't blame him. He shouldn't have gave it away to begin with. But so I think that really narrows it down on who actually did it. So I think he has a pretty good idea of who did it, right? I mean, he has to. There's no way he doesn't. Oh yeah, the Chris Chan thing. The merging of cartoon worlds. Okay, real quick. I have in my notes, like from probably 2022, maybe 2023, like old notes, talking about a Simpsons reality where, and the best way I can explain it is the people, like the celebrities that we see. You know how the Simpsons has their reoccurring characters, like Apu, the Indian storekeeper, like the kind of stereotypes, or Chief Wiggum's, Mr. Burns, the next door neighbor, Ned Flanders, those kind of characters where it's like, it's people you see every day and you expect to see in the show every day. That's what the media is to me, where it's like President Trump or President Obama or whatever the fuck. It's like, and the thing that got me thinking about this, I wish I could find it, but it was some weird rally. It was some Democrat rally, right? And the camera was pandering. The camera was panning around, and then there was I think it was Ray Charles or some other dude. It was I think it was Ray Charles. They panned around to Ray Charles playing the piano, and then former President Obama, was right behind him and gives him like a look, gives the camera a look. And then it hit me. It just, I had like a eureka moment. I was like, oh my god, it's a fucking cartoon, dude. Like there's Bleeding Gums Murphy, and there's fucking President Obama. And I was like, that's it. And this is Simpsons reality. This is literally what it is. Like, this is before I knew about the Chris Chan thing. And it's like a cartoon world merging with reality. Kind of like with, I don't know Chris Chan's, well, I call him Quickie. I don't know what Quickie's fucking theory is, word for word, but yeah, dude, I was so taken aback when I saw that. I was like, what is this bullshit? Like what are the odds, right? Seeing fucking Ray Charles and Mr. Obama next to each other, just this deadpan center, not deadpan center, but more or less side by side one another at this stupid fucking rally or this stupid Democratic event. And I was like, oh my god, it's a cartoon world. That's it. It's the Simpsons reality, dude. Anyway, we got the usual suspects. Matt likes to talk about the lineup of creeps, right? The Jews or whatever, the Illuminati. It's the same fucking shit. We got the lineup of the Simpsons characters every day. We got Trump, we got Obama, we got these other fucking assholes. Every now and then, Bill Clinton will hit the scene. We'll talk about him for a while. And then they got Hillary up to her shenanigans. We got all these other fucking idiots up to their shenanigans. It's just like just the lineup of cartoon characters every day, right? So yeah, that's the merging of fucking fiction and reality, you know.
Yeah, you got past it a little bit quicker than I was thinking, but yeah, the Chris Chan, or not the Chris Chan thing, the DSP thing. Yeah, I've known about DSP for a while. The guy that you mentioned, Tevin, I think I've probably been unsubscribed because I stopped caring about the DSP thing a while ago, but or a fair amount a while ago, I guess. It's kind of funny. He still gets brought up on that other channel that I listen to. This other guy that seems to be quite the fan of him. Like it's weird that Phil has like a surprising amount of people that are like really fascinated with him. I guess it's similar to Chris Chan basically, and just kind of like how fascinated they are with him, just kind of like keeping tabs on him and using him like for a lot of memes and stuff that they make. It's curious, and it's very curious that Phil. I mean, I think that's kind of like almost a reality break. That I think to me, I think that is like a fucking reality breakdown. Is just how these guys are able to like make a living doing this shit, even though like they supposedly have so many people that dislike them, but they just keep surviving. Like that's one of the memes with DSP is like, and I guess one of the meaner detractor memes is like he's a pig roach or whatever. Like I don't know, like he's a pig, but then he's a roach because he won't die. Like he's been somehow just able to be supported through this whole time just on donations and stuff, and just being a streamer, even though people say that he doesn't deserve to be a streamer and make money off of it and shit. But yeah, really, and these detractors, or whatever you want to, whatever, I know what he calls them, like, whatever you want to call them, these detractors, like, I would imagine, especially the ones that are so, like, dedicated, besides the ones, I can kind of understand the ones that are making it, like, a kind of a grift or a hustle themselves, making money off of this shit. Um, like, the ones that aren't doing that, and they're just doing it in their free time because they have this extreme obsession or fascination with Phil, is like they are even more pathetic than these people that they're fucking trying to fuck with or whatever. Like, I think that could be pretty clearly observed, I guess. Um, yeah, I mean, I never cared like that much about like Phil doing like yeah, he never bothered me that much. Like, I never thought he was, like, a guy that I cared about, but he was never a guy that I thought was like, oh man, I need to pay attention to this guy all day long, and, because he makes money on the internet, and, like, compared to some streamers, he's a lot more amusing than some streamers I've seen, which I gotta give him credit. Like he's a good clown. He's a good clown in that sense. So give him credit there.
It's so stupid, y'all. Oh yeah, I talked about Final Fantasy 14.
And yeah, the fucking, like, I don't watch much of that shit, but you mentioned with the like I guess the kind of like at some point Obama looking at the screen like during something, and it was obviously like exactly like a some kind of cartoon or Simpsons episode. The way that it was like framed almost. Um, yeah, that's. I mean, now you just look at the TV screen or whatever you want to say, the screen on a daily basis, and like every single thing you see is just completely clown bullshit. Like everything involving like Elon Musk, Drump, whatever. Like everything is just complete fucking cartoon bullshit. Not even trying to like pretend that it's anything like that could be considered believable or whatever. Just all absurdity, all cartoon shit. Simpsons episodes.
Kirk already went over that in his comment to me or his reply to me, so I don't think it's too important to go over that. I played Final Fantasy 14 for like 3 years with my wife. My wife and I both played together, and I'm one of those people. I'm like you, Kirk, where I can pick up any class and just play it really well, whether it be tanking, healing, DP.
Yeah, that's the thing is like I'm not even particularly I don't think I'm particularly like actually good at the game or whatever. It's just I am I guess open-minded enough to try out different things, and I enjoy like learning how to play classes. I enjoy learning the different ins and outs of classes because at least in a game that's good, uh that has multiple classes and shit, like WoW and all these other, like, so many of these other MMOs, it should be fun to play every class in some way. Like, I know they should all fit their own kind of, like, niche to some extent, but they should all, end of the day, be enjoyable to play, and, uh, you know, you kind of realize that when you actually give them a chance, is that, at least in WoW's case, with WoW Classic, now, some classes I enjoy playing more than others, obviously, but you kind of realize just playing that yeah, a lot of the classes are actually very fun in their own ways in this game. I'm sure it was the same in Final Fantasy. I would hope, but yeah, I just kind of experiment. I enjoy doing that. I'm not afraid to try and play different classes and stuff, and I'm not afraid to learn other classes that aren't mine, which it seems like is the major thing that keeps a lot of people from that, is that they don't want to try and learn the other classes, so they just kind of stay in their little box.
Yes, and it's all the same shit to me. I just learn what the abilities do, learn the rotation, get the gist of it, and just go at it. Um, I picked up tanking. I picked up tanking because I got tired of shitty tanks and no leadership abilities. I would run into tanks and they just couldn't lead for shit, and it would piss me off. So I just started tanking. Like I can tank, I can heal, I can do.
Yeah, I mean that's the funny thing that I'm noticing on, like, not every single server, but okay, then again, there's like not that many private servers that are super popular, so it's kind of difficult to say. But at least on private servers, usually like the actual population is pretty relatively slim pickings compared to, like, say, retail or whatever you want to call it. But you just kind of like are, well, at least if you don't want to just be twiddling your thumbs and praying that somebody that what you'll find like a tank or a healer if you need like one of those things to fill a group or something. So yeah, just kind of out of necessity of not wanting to like constantly be waiting for groups, uh you just kind of have to you just kind of, I guess you just kind of learn that is that you just kind of have to swallow your swallow what you're immediately like feel like doing, such as like, oh man, I want a DPS. I don't feel like tanking. I don't feel like leading, but you realize that if you don't, your group or whatever is not. It's gonna be a no. It's gonna be a non-start. So you just kind of do it out of necessity more than anything. But uh, yeah, I'm the same way, which is kind of funny how similar we are in that sense. Like, I, as I said this with I said this before with like when I worked at what was it, at Amazon for a while. Like, I kind of realized from there, or from that time kind of like forward, I guess, like I'm kind of weirdly, and this isn't meant to seem like some kind of brag or anything, but I'm surprisingly, at least surprising for me, it's surprising that I am actually like pretty decent at being like a leader, or being like in a taking the leadership role, being able to take a situation and lead when nobody else seems to be willing to, or whatever. Um, and this includes uh even in video games like in WoW or whatever. So yeah, like I've been doing that a lot recently on this server. Is that shit? Even just today, like uh we did a ZF run, and I don't know, the warrior that we had, I guess he wasn't like, he hadn't done the dungeon in a long time or something, so he wasn't really comfortable like leading per se. So even though he was technically the tank, like I mean, I'm gonna be honest, he he kind of did it. He kind of did a crappy job. Not to just like talk shit at the tanking part. He wasn't like, because I played with him the day before, just doing quests and stuff, and he was like a warrior that was more competent at playing a warrior than I'd seen, like compared to others on the server. But yeah, I guess when he was in the like tank role, he just wasn't very good at it. He like it's one of those things, I guess, is like people that are under pressure, like some of them really have bad they perform very poorly under like pressure compared to like other times when they're not under pressure or whatever. So they're not used to it. So then they just kind of like, he didn't like shut down, but he just kind of like generally did like a fairly like not amazing job at his role or whatever. But yeah, I guess that's how a lot of people are. I don't know if that's like some aspect of like a lot of people or something, but yeah, I don't know. So many people are just unable to take control of a situation and just be like, all right, fuck it, I've gotta be the leader here or whatever, and bring and rein stuff in or whatever, because nothing is going right otherwise. Um, and yeah, I don't know. I guess that's just one of those kind of things that you just kind of have to, you kind of just have to do it to be able to get better at it, I guess. Or maybe some people are obviously just not built to. They're just not built to take the kind of leadership role or whatever. They have to be followers or whatever. I don't know. That seems to kind of seems to kind of genuinely be a thing. Is like some people just can't they can't handle the responsibility, I guess you could say, of taking a leadership role or whatever. But yeah, apparently you as well as me are people that are able to do that. And I guess that, that's it sounds kind of like it sounds probably arrogant no matter how you say it, but that's oh, what was exactly I was going to say? But yeah, I don't know. I think that's pretty obviously a very strong masculine kind of trait is being able to take the responsibility of being in a leadership role or whatever. Oh yeah, that was it. Is the only people that are actually going to be like the only people that are actually good leaders are the ones that don't volunteer necessarily to be a leader. Like they don't want to be a leader. They just kind of do it out of necessity. I'm sure that's a saying or whatever, but I think it's a pretty obvious one when you think about it. Like just like these people that voluntarily become like a Discord mod or like a forum mod or whatever, the Jannies and shit. Um, like the ones that volunteer are the ones that are the least likely to be actually like competent and good at their job. Same shit comes with the leadership roles. And yeah, I'm just noticing more and more on this server that pretty much I'm just always going to have to be leading in some way because man, people are fucking and I don't mind it that much. As long as people don't act like complete fucking brain dead idiots, which I know is asking a lot. But it's like, yeah, okay, I'll lead the group or whatever. It's not a big deal to me. If it can be exhausting at times, but I'm willing to do it as long as people are also willing to listen to some extent. That's all I ask generally. Um, but on that, yeah, I don't know what role in terms of just like that I prefer more than anything. Like I like playing tank, just because it's kind of it's fun being able to be the one controlling the pace of the dungeon and everything. Uh, I'm actually just going to do that because it's probably faster than waiting for him to regenerate his mana. So fuck it. That's one nice thing about demons, I guess. I mean, genuinely, I think the demons, even though they have a lot of cool utility, they're like individually very weak on their own compared to like uh the hunter pets and shit. Which is probably not that surprising, but yeah. But yeah, let me let you continue.
Whatever. In either case, really, I end up taking the lead. Like I just assume a leadership role when I'm playing a game, and every now and then I'll run into a random stranger that assumes that role, and it's like, hey, I'll just sit back and relax. Like, finally, someone taking the fucking reins. Like, fuck this shit. That's why I like playing a tank, but I like healing. I think I like healing the most. I'm a healer. I'm one of them heal sluts you hear about. If you've seen my Final Fantasy 14 character, you already know I'm a heal slut. But anyway, I think that's funny. I think that about covers it.
Yeah, I enjoy healing as well. It's kind of like it's kind of funny because as a healer, like as I mentioned before, like you're kind of you're kind of more insurance than anything. Your role, like like the group at the end of the day could kind of like do without you if it wasn't if fucking up wasn't something that would like happen at all. Not like it's not always the case. Like in some bosses, they're just too drawn out that you couldn't have no heals at all, kind of deal. But in a lot of things, like the certain pulls and stuff, like you don't even have to do any healing. But yeah, you're just kind of like the insurance policy to hopefully assure that the group doesn't get uh killed and stuff. But yeah, I enjoy healing, even though like people would say that it's just kind of filling bars and shit. I mean, you can be very extremely reductionist and be like, well, every DPS is just making sure the bars get empty. Like, so it's a pretty stupid way to kind of like put it, I guess. But I guess it's fair enough to say it like that if you want. Uh, but yeah, I like healing. And it's kind of nice about healing on this server as well because you also like your level matters the least compared to the others. Like you could kind of without much issue be fairly significantly lower level than the dungeon itself, and heal. Whereas the tank, it's like the opposite. Like you kind of want them to be like optimally like 2 levels higher than like everything else, even though it kind of like it kind of hurts them as the player to be at that because they're kind of going to be gaining the least from that from being that over leveled. But for safety's sake and being able to actually like hit stuff, the tank wants to be the most over leveled of the rest. Just in that sense, it's just a numbers game for the tank in a way more than the other roles. Um, but yeah, like I like the leading aspect of a tank, um, of being a tank, but I kind of like sort of dislike the gameplay the most compared to the other roles, I think. Like if it makes sense, um, I like tanking for its purpose more than I like it for its actual gameplay, I guess. If that's a way to put it. Um, oh great. Lag. But yeah. I kind of like healing for the gameplay, sort of. Obviously, for the DPS, it all depends on the class, how fun it is to heal, or how fun it is to play that role or whatever. Um, but yeah, I enjoy healing a lot as well. But I mean, you can lead. You could lead it as any role technically, but obviously it's the easiest to do it as the tank. But I've seen plenty of healers like lead as well. I've sort of been in that position to some extent, just because that's also why I enjoy the hybrid classes a lot, because I could just kind of play any role, like I completely be flexible in that way. Whereas you can't do that with the non-hybrids, which is always a little bit annoying. But yeah, let's continue with what you're talking about. Enough
Um,
rambling there.
if I got more to add, I'll just make another recording. I'm pretty sure I'm missing a lot that I wanted to say, but like I said, I had a terrible fucking day at work. Um, and I started recording this not in the best of mood, so I wasn't really in the right headspace. But I'm gonna leave it at this for now. If I decide that's all I want to say, then I'll just post it. I'll take it easy. It's gonna be kind of a unrelated topic, I guess. I may make this a separate video, but it's been brought to my attention that there is a movie coming out, or I think it's out right now in theaters, a biblical movie about Jesus called King of Kings, which I think is kind of funny because I've been talking about King of Queens lately. Maybe it's nothing, but the trailer was like back in February, and in the trailer there's a big emphasis on a little boy and his cat, a little boy cat and his father, and the father is like telling them the story of Jesus, right, the King of Kings, because supposedly the little boy is obsessed with King Arthur, and his father's like, I'm going to tell you the story of the King of Kings. And, you know, the little boy's all interested. He's got his little kitten with him. His little kitten's hanging around. So in the movie, from what I can gather from the trailer, the little boy and the little cat are kind of transported into this imagination world, right? His own imagination. And where he witnesses these events of Jesus being betrayed by Judas and being crucified and all that, and his miracles and walking on water and all of that stuff. And they show the part where, you know, they're out in the sea, him and his boys, you know, Jesus and his boys are out in the sea with his disciples, and his disciples are freaking out because the weather's choppy, you know, the seas are going crazy. And to me, I mean, if you take it literally, Jesus goes, you know, he basically tells them to shut up, like, calm down, nothing's really happening, and then the waters are still again. And to me, it's not, I talk about this a lot, I haven't talked about this in a while actually, but like, to me that's like a metaphor, an allegory for the mind, okay? Like, anybody out there, you know what it's like to be in that situation in your own mind, you know, where the seas are, your boat's being rocked, right, by events. There's like a lot going on in your life, and your thoughts are going crazy, right? And really, that's just your thoughts. In reality, nothing's actually happening. I told the story once about back during Christmas. I think it was like either the Friday or the Saturday before Christmas, and I was at work, and I was in a situation like that where it's like it was just me by myself, you know, and I didn't have a cashier because she had to leave, and she stayed like 20 minutes extra kind of as a favor to me because my boss had left early, and she's just being irresponsible, just the way she always is. But that's besides the point. But there was like, I had a line of customers, I got a line of photo, and it's like, and I told myself getting into this situation, because I saw it coming ahead of time, where I knew I was going to be alone, and I told myself, I'm just dealing with egos, I'm not dealing with actual people. And maybe it's a cope, right? Maybe you could say I was coping, but the minute I thought that, it was like everything was fine, the waters were still, you know. I didn't let thoughts take over. I didn't let Judas betray me, right? I talked about that before. Or I commanded my own mind to just be still, and it worked. And it was like nothing happened. And it was kind of rough. It was rough in a sense where I was just like, I had a line of customers, and it's like having to deal with that for like 20 minutes before I got someone from the pharmacy to come help me. And after about an hour and a half or so, everything calmed down and it was fine. And afterwards, I was like, it was like nothing happened. Like, it was so weird because I wasn't exhausted, I wasn't tired. I just went home like a little bit after that, and everything was good. I didn't complain. I don't even think I told my wife about it. Because usually I would talk about how fucking irresponsible my boss is, but I didn't. I was just completely still. And that's what I mean by it's an allegory for your mind. Like, you command the seas. Like, this is what Jesus meant. Like, you're the commander. Like, you're the God in disguise. And that's what he came down here to tell us, supposedly, right? If he's look, fiction or non-fiction, right? You either think Jesus is real or not, was a real person or not. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, these metaphors, these allegories have meaning, and the whole Bible is the whole Bible is just a metaphor for your life. It's an allegory for your mind. Like, the characters in the Bible are allegories for your situation, But that's besides the point. I really wanted to talk about the cat. So, the movie is like 3D CGI kind of thing. I'll show pictures and stuff. I might even like show the trailer clip. I'll insert the trailer clip right now. So the movie's kind of CGI, and when I saw screenshots of it, when I saw when I saw the trailer, I was like, this looks like, and maybe it's just brain rot by this point, but I really honestly thought it was AI generated, and then I saw the cat guy got my attention. Obviously, I was like, holy shit.
Yeah,
There's a cat
looking at that,
in this biblical movie.
looking at that Jesus
So,
thing, at least the one screenshot that you had, I just assumed that you generated it with AI again or whatever. So yeah, to me it looked like AI generated shit as well, to me at least. But yeah, I guess that's just what the our world has become, is now like it is so hard to tell what was AI generated and what was not AI generated and stuff. It's just so difficult to tell. We just kind of like assume that it was now. It's just the norm to be like, oh yeah, that was AI generated, even if it wasn't, or supposedly wasn't.
and then we get to the scene where the little boy is looking up. He's on the ground for some reason, right? I don't know the story, but in the trailer, the boy's looking up and he sees Jesus holding his cat. And then a person kind of gets in his way, and then the person turns into his father. And I was just like, that's fucking weird, Like, what the fuck? It's so strange, because I've been making, if y'all been following me for any length of time by this point, I like to make AI generated cat videos involving Jesus and other things, right? The asteroid thing, I'll talk about that in a minute maybe. But the Jesus thing with the cats, because I was making AI generated back in November, right? So this trailer came out in February, so this was a few months ahead of when I started making AI generated videos involving cats. And this movie was probably in production way before that, right? Probably production the past 2 years. So it's hard to say. Like, I started making this in November, right? So there was a fractal obviously involving Jesus and cats before that, and I think I've posted community posts about that, where I was looking up Jesus and cats on Google Images, and I thought it was hilarious. I don't know why. I just thought it was endearing. I thought it was funny, so I started posting those. And when this AI generation video thing started becoming more common and easier to do, I got into it a little bit, and I found it extremely entertaining. I don't know why, but I don't know. It just gripped me, and I went into it. I went into it with a purpose. I knew what I was doing, but I did go into this thinking a certain way, where everybody's demonizing the AI, right? AI video generation and AI video or AI image generation. Everybody's demonizing that right now, right? And I told myself, and I've changed my mind on this, because I used to think AI was, the devil or whatever. It was poised to take over humanity, and it's trying to take over humanity. I don't think that anymore. Okay, minds change. People grow, and I'm willing to say, look, I don't think like this anymore. I have a different perspective now. I have a different idea of what this is about, and I don't got my thoughts on it completely, but as time progresses, I'll definitely let y'all know. But I went into this AI generation video stuff with the mindset of, I'm going to produce something good with it, something entertaining, something that I like, something that I enjoy. I'm going to put this energy out there, which is this Jesus and cat thing. I'm going to put out this cat energy out there. That's why I did the thing with Tom Brady. The video I did with Tom Brady, I made a special video about Tom Brady and a black cat. And then the ones with Jesus feeding cats in the Garden of Eden or whatever it was. I think that was the prompt. I don't remember what I put exactly. The other one was I think I did a few of these that didn't turn out very well. So, but I ended up using one where Jesus is holding a cat in his arms, a black cat in his arms, while an asteroid is about to hit Earth, and just stuff like that. And that has a lot to do with Apophis, the Apophis asteroid that's predicted, quote unquote, to hit in 2029, April 13th, 2029. Such a specific date, right? Which just happens to be Friday the 13th, by the way. So, you know, it's clown world, honk honk. Anyway, so I went into this AI generation thing with the purpose. Like, I was like, I'm putting this cat energy out there. And like I said, this movie was in production before that. It had to be, right? So, I'm willing to say, by this point that it's not necessarily my fractal, or maybe it's retrocausal, right? Time is backwards. I decided to do these back in October, November, and it was like the energy working in both directions, right? If you want to think of time as linear, as going, if you want to think of past and present, which I don't, by the way, I'm just trying to simplify it, where it's like I had these ideas about Jesus and cats, right? And I drove my car. So I had this notion, this fractal idea to put out there about Jesus and cats. So I started making videos, and it works in both directions, right? Um, Even Kirk noticed. He thought it was. I think he found it pretty humorous that I was making these kind of videos where he didn't know. He didn't know immediately they were AI generated, right? But he knew. Like, there's no.
Yeah, like I think I mentioned it. Yeah, I was like, there's no fucking way that, for honestly for a moment, yeah, to my tongue, but honestly for a moment I was like unsure. Like, I mean, I guess that's like kind of how a lot of the most of the AI generation stuff kind of works. Is like if you just look at it from a cursory kind of glance, it's surprisingly difficult to like tell. But then when you look at it closer, it becomes a lot more like obvious to see or easy to see. Um, but yeah, after like just a little bit of I don't know, after a little bit of like looking or noticing, I was just like, wait a minute. I mean, kind of the weird thing is mostly the theme. I'm like, there's no way that somebody just has a video of like cats on these fucking like perfect looking donuts or whatever kind of shit. But yeah, at first I was wondering if you generated it, and I figured you did because now it's so easy to just like prompt whatever. But yeah, initially, like, I think most how the AI thing kind of goes is I was pretty uh fooled by it initially, but yeah, with just a little bit of discernment, I was pretty sure like, yeah, that was definitely AI generator or whatever.
Way he didn't know. Anybody seeing that be like, what the hell? You know, the cats and the donuts. And the donuts thing was just silly. It's just something goofy. You know, the when I said when I was going over this stupid notion that everybody's different, right? Their cultures and races and their skin tones and the languages and all of that bullshit, all the religions. It's like it's just the different frosting on the donuts or the different sprinkles on the donuts, right? You got your vanilla donut, you got your chocolate donut with sprinkles, and you know that's a black man, a gay black man, right, or a transgender or whatever. And it's just like when you boil it down, dude, it's like it's all the same shit. It's all the same donut. And that's what I meant by it's the same donut. And I was kind of caught on the spot. I was like, it's the same donut, man. It's like, open your eyes, you know, like what the fuck? Like this is stupid. Like this race shit is dumb. So that's what that has to do with it. So the cats and the donuts, that's what that means. All right. So I'm putting the energy out there, right? And it is funny though, cause my wife was watching some guy who he's a streamer. He plays horror games, and he was, I don't know what game he was playing. He plays a lot of random shit. Some guy, forget his name. And he was looking around. He was in a house, right? He likes to play scary games on PC. So he's walking around in the house and he sees a picture. He sees like a framed, like poster, like a picture of frosted donuts, and kind of like the donuts that looked exactly like the donuts that I was generating with the cats, and that caught my attention. I watched the rest of the video. Nothing really stood out to me, but it's little things like that where it's like of just a fucking, 20 by 30 picture of donuts, of frosted donuts with sprinkles and all that. And it was just so strange. And then this cat thing, the cats and the donuts. There's no real correlation to that. I just thought it was cute. I got that idea from Billy, by the way. So shout out to Billy. Started a simulation. He's starting to make videos again. I'm glad he's doing well. I was worried about him for a little while there because he didn't post for almost a year, like probably 8-9 months, and it's his prerogative, right? I'm sure he was. I was sure he was okay because he's a tough dude. I mean, he's resilient and all that. And I was like, oh, he's fine. It's just his life, you know.
Yeah, I'd be kind of curious
But I
that
got that idea from him.
you probably won't be able to find it because who fucking knows. But I'd be kind of curious that horror game you were talking about, that streamer playing, like, cause yeah, I know like these paintings in these games, like just seemingly like random paintings or whatever on like a wall, but yeah, really, why would what where why would there just be one with like just glazed donuts and shit? Like that is kind of just strange, you know, reality breakdown coincidence or whatever, but that is strange of a thing they just have on like a random painting or whatever.
So shout out to him about the cats and the donuts, and that's why I started making AI generated videos. And he was he made a video where he was like, if I really wanted to get into marketing the Post Nostalgos name or whatever, or anything really, if I ever wanted to make merchandise or whatever the hell, which isn't a, it's not a bad concept to me. I mean, I would make T-shirts with cats and donuts, AI generate cats,
I mean,
and donuts on a T-shirt.
it's kind of it's kind of funny how like easy it is to just like make, quote unquote, make these like t-shirt or whatever, like this merchandise kind of shit nowadays. You just kind of like, I don't know exactly how it works, but you just kind of go to like these services and they just do like any bullshit, like, oh yeah, put this logo or whatever on this coffee mug or whatever, or put this logo on this t-shirt kind of thing. I'm sure the quality is like probably garbage, of both the t-shirt and the image that they would put on there or whatever. But yeah, it's kind of interesting how easy these things are to make now. So even if you just had something like that, you probably could if you really wanted to, pretty fairly easily or whatever.
Like donut pillows or some shit. Just graphical tees or fucking hats. I mean, that'd be fucking awesome if I had a kitty cat hat with a cat sitting in a big donut. I mean, that's a
Man, like the only thing that I wear is like my shirt and like my sweatshirt or whatever that I wear because it's comfortable and stuff. But yeah, for me, like there is no there's almost like no thing that I would wear that like you could easily put like logos or merchandise on. Like I was never into wearing like hats. Maybe like winter hats, like those kind of like beanies things where it keeps your head pretty like nice and warm and stuff, but that's like the only thing. Like baseball caps and shit, I would never be into
adorable.
that.
I've never heard of that, so maybe I don't know, maybe it's something I can do just for fun. But I don't know. I'm not I'm not trying to like do something with my channel in that regard. It's very possible I could, but I don't want it to be that. Like, I really don't want it to be that. This is more, I would consider my channel more, maybe it's presumptuous of me to say education, but education from like just a normal dude, you know, like I'm uneducated. I mean, I went to high school, but what does that mean nowadays? You know, never went to college. I do my own research, like when it comes to things like I studied quote unquote economics just by listening and watching YouTube videos from guys like Milton Friedman and Thomas Sowell, and that's like the most education I have is these economics lectures with these guys, and that's kind of where it ends. I mean, anything else I know, it's just whatever from being a person on this earth, you know. um, but that's what I don't know. That's what my channel's about. It's like I just want to talk about interpersonal relationships and metaphysics, and those are kind of strange topics because they seem so separate, right? Like metaphysics, like how the reality works and all that, and these interpersonal relationships, like the relationship between your mother and father, your husband or wife or whatever, brothers and sisters, like those relationships, and religion and culture, and they seem so separate, right? The metaphysics, the illusion of reality, and this other thing that seems way off on the fringe, right? This, and a lot of people don't talk about this stuff and don't link them together. And I personally think that I don't think I know, like I have a knowledge, like I have the knowing that, like I said, it seems arrogant for me to just say it this way, but I gotta be confident. I am confident with this, where it's like the metaphysics, the illusion of reality is absolutely intertwined with our interpersonal relationships, because I don't know, like it's weird to me because these relationships with other people, with other spiritual beings, right? If you want to see it that way, it's there. Like that's the most in your face thing since the day you're born.
Need help?
Since the day you're spat out into this illusion, the first thing you interact with is your mother. And then, you know, after that it's your family and all that. And there's exceptions to the rule. Obviously, either it's C-sections or you know, your mom dies or during childbirth or whatever. There's exceptions, all right? But that dynamic still plays out. The biblical kind of mythos is gonna play out no matter what religion you are. The Adam and Eve, the Cain and Abel, the Noah, you know, Matthew and Isaac, you know, the binding of Isaac and all that. Like all of that shit is a metaphor, is the living mythos going on in your life, and you can't avoid it. You can't. I don't care if you're not a Christian, like unavoidable, absolutely unavoidable. But anyway, I kind of went off on a tangent. I guess it'd just be a ramble, but this is fine. I really wanted to talk about, I already went over this, but the cat thing with the Jesus movie, and this Apophis thing, and the Jesus with the cats thing is so fucking weird, y'all. I was like, my eyes were like wide open, and shout out to the guy who brought it to my attention. Him and I have been at odds before, and I don't know what, and I'm just gonna say it here, I guess. I don't know what his problem was with me. He says that it was because of the cats that got him upset, but I don't think that's it at all. He can say that all he wants. I don't believe that, okay? I don't believe you, if you're listening. But thanks for bringing it to my attention. You know who you are. I'm not gonna say your name. I don't have a problem with you. Like, I don't, and you're probably gonna get upset over this, but I'm not subscribed to you anymore, okay? You can tag me. I don't care. You can mention me and tag me all you want. And I'll watch the videos that you tag me in. But I don't follow your channel anymore. Like, I'm not interested in the energy you're producing right now. And you're gonna, if you wanna, you have this thing about making videos about me. It's like, go ahead, man. Like, you don't bother me. You're not bothering me when you make videos, dude. Make videos all you want. Because you're bringing up the cat thing, and this is exactly what, you're doing exactly what I want. Okay, you may not realize it. I want you to talk about cats. And that was, maybe that's the thing that upset you the most, was maybe I wasn't trying to manipulate you, but I was trying to point out something that you're missing. And this cat thing, is way more important than you realize. This feeling around in the dark shit you do, it's not working. You're not, like, things happen, yeah, you notice patterns just the way I notice patterns, but you're, I don't know, it's like you're just it's hard to explain. It's really hard to put into words. It's English is limited, and English isn't your first language anyway, so it's like you're probably going to misunderstand and misinterpret what I'm saying. Um, but just to re-emphasize this point, I don't have a problem with you personally. Um, I didn't like, and I will admit this, I didn't like the energy you're putting out at one point because it was, because I think you're capable of doing a lot of good with your energy, but you don't do it. You focus on negative things way too often. It's not good for you. It's not good for your mind. I don't care what you're putting out. In a sense, I'm more concerned about the energy you put out. And I already told you it's absolutely linked to your mother. But you, I don't know, you denied the shit out of that for some reason. Um, you just, I don't know, everybody does this, okay? So it's not just you. The moment you bring up their moms, it's like, oh no, my mom didn't do this. My mom didn't do X, Y, and Z. When I know for damn certain she did. I know she was a psychopath. You talked about how she was too nice and everything. It's like, no, don't bullshit me with that, man. Because I've been around. I know exactly how mothers are. You can't fuck with me with that. Anyway, dude, I wish you the best. If you want to tag me, make videos about me, go ahead. I'll watch them and I'll comment. And you kept saying the last one, the last two you made about me, it was like, you kept going, how does it feel? It's like, how does it feel? I was like, oh, it feels good. I mean, I wanted you to talk about cats. Um, it feels fine. I mean, are you like trying to manipulate me? Like, that's not cool, dude. Like, you need to stop all that because that's what the problem is. A lot of people have a problem with you right now is because of this manipulation shit you do. It's like, so fucking just quit that. Like, it's so. I know you like to think that you're telling the truth or whatever, but that may be so. It's cool. I like the fact that you're honest with people, but I just think there's a better way to go about it. Like, fucking, just like use your abilities for something else besides this negativity about this death and this world destruction and all of that shit. Like, dude, like, just, yeah, dude, that's part of reality, man. Like, what do you, there's nothing new under the sun in that regard. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just talking to you directly by this point. It's like, you're not, like, yeah, no shit. Like, there's death and destruction and earthquakes and floods and shit. It's like, yeah, man, there's patterns to recognize about that stuff that's super obvious to people like you, maybe even people like me, but I don't focus my energy on that. There's better ways to do it, in my opinion. But, like I said, you run your channel the way you want, brother. Like, go for it. Um, but I don't know, you try to goad reactions out of me, and
Yeah, I know you're talking about this stuff with what's his face, uncanny detection or whatever, but I have never seen that fucking spell icon. That looks like something from like, oh man, it looks like a fucking plant, but what the hell? That is so weird. It's like it's like something from like a completely different game. The way it looks, I've never seen that. I never knew that was a thing. That is curious. When you use sense demons, interesting. It's an interesting noise too.
it doesn't really work because it's like, I already know what your problem is, and your problem has everything to do with your mom. Because you won't approach her, you're afraid of your mother, you won't approach.
Yeah, I think you probably have a better idea what's up with this guy because I haven't interacted with him in a long time, but yeah, he's definitely got some issues, or he's a I mean, I doubt that's the case. That or he's a epic level troll or something, but yeah, potentially or the misunderstanding's that much. But I think even somebody who completely like misunderstands like language of some other person, like there's something else going on there, and you're probably more you're probably more correct in that assessment of something, mommy issues, honestly. And if somebody's that unwilling to, like, admit that their mom had some kind of, like, problems or some kind of influence on certain ways that they've acted, or like was kind of like, to some extent, sociopathic or abusive in throughout their life in some way. Like, that's almost every experience I've seen in some way with with these mothers and stuff. I Then that kind of just says, like, yeah, you got some major mommy issues, or as you said, like, the person is deep down deathly afraid of their mother or whatever. Like, they're like, almost like a husband being whipped by their wife is the son being whipped whipped down by their mother, in a way. So your assessment is probably more accurate than mine, but I kind of stopped caring after I stopped interacting with that person after seeing how they act.
Approach her and forgive her. And I know what you're gonna say is like, what do I have to forgive her
Yeah.
about? Everything, fucking everything, man.
Here there.
You need to apologize to her for being angry with her, because the way you act, the way you act is how your mother acts. And I've said this before, so this isn't something new. This isn't something new that I'm saying to you, because I've said this before. Anyway, y'all, that last part was, the last 7 minutes or so is for him. Like I said, I'm not gonna say his name. I'm not gonna give you that kind of attention.
Oh yeah,
Anyway,
sorry.
y'all have a great
Sorry
day.
if I
Have a good
said
day.
their name. Just kind of like, yeah, I know who you're talking about. Yeah. Not that it really matters. Um, Man, it is crazy when you are playing something else or whatever, how quickly the time can go by. And yeah, I didn't say a lot during that because I was just kind of listening, but I think that's mostly what I wanted to say. I think that's mostly what I wanted to say, and I probably didn't have that much to say at the end of the day. I just kind of had a few things that piqued my, that got my noggin jogged, neuron activation, when they were talked about. So, um, I guess I don't have that much to talk about right now that I could think of. So I guess I'll end the video now. It's been almost an hour and a half. So yeah, sorry for the length or whatever, but thanks for your video, and thanks for your video response. And everybody else, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and have a good one.